Um, Hi guys. Just making sure that there's some sound coming through the microphone. This. I wanted to I wanted to talk about relationships and how for me, like especially borderline personality disorder is pretty much destroyed um a couple of my relationships that were potentially going somewhere. And it's I I really do understand that it's difficult for partners when they see the extreme behaviours that I'm capable of exhibiting, um, and it's it's all of those over the top emotions which, which I use words quite viciously. I'm a wordy sort of person anyway, because I write books. That's kind of what I do for a living. And and so I understand how powerful words can be. Words can be really really powerful in an argument. You can launch into massive insults and everything. I mean, I'm trying to think of I'm trying to think of the breakup of my last marriage, how it happened. And I must have spoken about this so many times, not just on air but on Facebook as well. And I I didn't I didn't realize that things had slipped so badly down, because I was kind of in a depression. And I've said before, when I go into depression, I become really selfish, and I think only of myself, because I need to. That's the most important thing to me. um so when my wife disappeared from hospital, and then returned home after about 2 weeks, I had no idea where she'd been or anything like that. And on I would say that it was a it was a strange evening. Um, we ordered a Chinese. Yep, yeah, we ordered a Chinese. Whereas normally, um, either I'd pay for it or she'd pay for it. We just went like 50-50, that kind of thing. Um, because she'd always said when she was in hospital that I can't wait to get back home with you, and we can have a Chinese together and everything. And that was kind of bittersweet, because she I mean, she said to me on that night after the Chinese, that she feared that I was gonna leave her and run away and all this kind of thing. And I have no idea where those feelings that she was talking about, where they come from, because not in a million years would I ever have left her. Um, what I didn't know at the time was that, I mean, I said to her, "No, I really really love you. I don't mind that you're poorly. As long as you're back home and I can look after you, and I don't mind that you've put on weight. I don't mind any of these things, because I still like love you." Um, what I didn't know at that moment in time was that she'd left the hospital and stopped round some guy's house, and basically they'd done what to adults are prone to doing. They had sex, and so I didn't know that at this moment in time, at this particular point in time. So when I left the house to come back here to like my mum's, um, and she was saying we need to take it slowly, like rebuild the relationship and all that kind of thing. I didn't realise that she'd already cheated on me. I had no idea, um, and it all came out um, probably a couple of weeks later when there were like a flurry of text messages between us because I was fearing abandonment, which for borderline personality disorder is one of the kind of the worst emotion that you can feel. You think that your your friends are abandoning you, your partner's abandoning you, once it happens like that, you start to really lay into the other person. It's like, what the fuck? Where you been? What you doing? What you doing? Um, and it it obviously culminated in like the massive argument that we had, where she literally told me that um, she she'd been cheating on me, um, and and I, as I've said before, I like lost my shit. But the thing is, I used words. So I called her. I didn't pick on personal appearance or anything. I didn't call her fat or anything like that. Um, but yeah, I've got room to talk. Um, so I didn't pick on those emotions, but I called her a slag. But uh, she'd come out of hospital and gone round to this healthcare assistant's house and had sex with him. Uh, so so it seems it seems perfectly reasonable, really. I mean, I think that I would call her a slag. Um, I mean, she it's one of those bitter arguments, and she kind of laughed, um, and that really had a massive impact on my state of mind. So I called her, and I apologise. This is the worst word in the English language. I called her a cunt, and she was still smiling at that. It was like there was nothing that I could say to her that would actually shut her down. And see, the fear of abandonment um, had kind of driven me to this point where basically we'd had an argument by text. That's the worst thing ever, to have an argument by text. Where probably again, as much as she left the hospital and didn't get in touch with me for a couple of weeks, she kind of disappeared off the radar again for like about 3 or 4 days before texting me and saying that she was having great sex with somebody, which even is somebody that's not got any kind of serious mental health issues, that that would really fuck you up, and it really fucked me up. It really did. And I, at the moment, it seems like I'm just blaming her for everything. And I suppose at the end game of that relationship, yeah, it was her that had done wrong, and I was just reacting to what she'd done to me. Um, but the There has to be a point where if you've got borderline personality disorder, you take a step back and when when you're kind of normal, you take a step back and you think about you know what you've probably said in the past and everything. And as I say, I've always used words in a really harsh way. Somebody once described me as a keyboard warrior because, like, I'd get involved in discussions online, and then I'd, I'd probably at some point, although I'm normally pretty good at face to face with people discussing different political opinions. Let's say I'm normally pretty good because I normally uh, listen to the other person's side, put my point across, and if it breaks down the actual debate, then you know I've never like got really insulting to anybody face to face, which is kind of the definition of a keyboard warrior. You know, you basically you you kind of are too scared to say something to somebody's face. That's the definition. Um, Whereas for me, it was like it was that the whole keyboard warrior thing is what you basically there is a distance between you and reality. So yeah, I I I launched into personal attacks, ad hominem attacks, and whereas face to face I wouldn't. Um, but it's definitely not the fear factor because I've I've got involved in quite serious road rage incidents. When I was younger, when I was a lot younger, like in my um, late teens, early 20s, if ever um, if ever I seriously lost my shit, um, I I was always ready to fight, to use physical violence to uh, kind of end the argument. And and yeah, I've had some. I know I know that I can come across um, quite aggressive and intimidating to certain people, but I am only like about 5'4", so I'm a really short guy. Um, but it's I I think in relationships definitely. Um, it's, it's not really happened so much with friendships, but relationships. I I've definitely got really personal and kind of spoken my mind um, with my ex-wife. Yeah, I spoke my mind about how I thought her daughters were like liberty taking little bastards, that kind of thing. Um, it's one of them things where they kind of say don't get between like a mother and her children or whatever. But I suppose because I left home when I was like 17 and spent some time sleeping in the car. I had my first job when I was 16. I I was kind of self sufficient when I was in my teens, and And, I mean, it was always my opinion that um, once kids get to a certain age, they need to be self sufficient. And I mean, I recognise that that's not like for everybody. Not everybody feels that way, especially in like today's society. So I would say me speaking out against the children of partners um, has cost me two relationships. And the thing is, I'm quite reactionary when it comes to when it comes to emotions. I'm very reactionary. So my partner would say something to me, and then it's all about the words, and it's all about, right. Okay, I feel hurt, and potentially I'm fearing abandonment now. So then straight away, my defense mechanism was always, right, just launch into an all out attack. Um, just all those feelings that, you know, like tumbling around in my head, just all those thoughts, just launch into an attack. Um, and yeah, with one of my partners, the borderline personality disorder definitely cost me that relationship. Um, I mean, I've apologized to that person. Then, like pretty much in the last few months, and this was a relationship that was like 10 years ago. Um, but my last relationship, I yes, I acted out during our last ever conversation. Um, I I got really verbally aggressive and yeah, acted out. But it wasn't that cost the relationship. She she'd already decided weeks earlier to disappear from hospital where she was supposed to be recuperating, and go to this guy's house and do what people do. Um, I I can remember getting a phone call from her brother. This I, this would have been in like January time, probably. It's around about the time that I actually had some physical evidence that she'd been seeing this healthcare assistant, and I had managed to lay my hands on his phone number. I'm not going to say how. It's perfectly legal. Um, and so I rang him up and told him that I was going to really fuck his life up and report him to Addenbrooke's Hospital. It's like one of the major hospitals in the UK. And he tried all kinds of tricks to try and fuck with me. Like he got somebody different to text me and pretend that there were this consultant fucking surgeon from Addenbrooke's whose name had been mentioned in uh, you know uh, behaving improperly with a patient. And I I I didn't have to do much detective work to find out that although this guy was pretending to be somebody called Andrew, his voicemail went to somebody called fucking Greg or something. Um, but when I rang up this guy and told him, right, I've got you now, you bastard. That I just literally, it's one of them things where you think, right, I'm gonna stay really calm when he answers the phone. I'm gonna stay really calm and just tell him, that I'm gonna get him sacked and everything. But straight away, I went and fucking just launched into like a verbal attack. And then 2 or 3 days later, one evening, I get a phone call. It's from my ex-wife's brother. I wouldn't call him brother-in-law because fucking I only saw him about 3 times, and I didn't really, I didn't really want to engage with her family. I had a massive falling out with her uncle. I thought he was a cunt, and see what I'm saying about borderline personality disorder. You fucking just. But yeah, so her brother rang me up and said that she'd been hospitalised and she was in intensive care and all this kind of shit. Um, and I basically just said like, "Fuck off," I'm not. It was like, "Don't get in touch with her," otherwise I get the police involved. um, and by then the relationship was way over, completely and utterly way over. So it wasn't as if my behaviour, extreme though it was, cost me the relationship. The relationship, the relationship ended the moment that she decided to uh, have sex with somebody else. Um, so I can't say that borderline personality disorder cost me my last relationship because it didn't. It didn't. Um, I would say depression, um, the flip side of bipolar, probably cost me the relationship because depression is also difficult for partners to deal with. Um, but yeah, the kind of everything that's happened over the last year or so has made me really reticent when it comes to embarking on a new relationship. Mainly because I don't trust people. Um, and that's probably only natural, bearing in mind I got cheated on. Um, but it's one of the things where do I want to get involved in another relationship when I know that I've got all these fears, the fears of abandonment, the fears of losing control, the fears of having arguments, and I fucking hate having arguments. So it's like one of the things that just makes you want to run away and hide when I hear people shouting, which is ironic because I shout a lot when I'm arguing, but I just think what am I going to get out of a potential relationship, and what am I going to end up doing to destroy that relationship? I I used to think I was quite cool and relaxed, and I was when I first met my ex-wife. Um, I was in a really cool, relaxed sort of mindset, and so I didn't like arguing with people. I can remember the the person I was seeing before I hooked up with my ex-wife. Um, she was a nice person, but we had like a disagreement during the day in a pub. We'd just gone there for lunch, and so it was like a an argument. I do not like arguing really, um, mainly because I don't like that whole losing control and appearing to be some kind of psychopathic lunatic. Um, so I literally said to this woman, I'd only been seeing her for a few weeks. I basically literally said it had been like an on-off relationship for a while, and I said, look, I'm gonna um, take you back to your car, and basically, because she didn't know my local town that well, so I said, "I'll walk you back to your car, and I'll see you off, and I don't want to like see you again," that kind of thing. And she was like, "No, no, we can still like let's sort things out." I'm like, "No," and I literally just walked away from it because I don't like I I don't like arguing with people. And like I say, it is because that whole losing my mind, losing my shit sort of thing. Um, it's it's kind of tough because I'm 51. I don't think I'm ever going to get involved in another uh, serious relationship, um, because I don't trust people. I think they're going to leave me. Um, Sometimes that is a self-fulfilling prophecy. Um, Although not for my marriage. She left me, and that was it. But I don't like losing my emotions. So I'm just thinking, yeah, I'm 51. If I live for another 10 years, I'm going to be without any uh, companionship, relationship, that kind of thing. And it's to be fair, it's not really fair for me to get involved with somebody when I've got borderline personality disorder and bipolar. They're like really difficult things for people to deal with. And I've said before in videos that it takes a very special person to be able to cope with a partner who's got both of those issues. The bipolar is like bad enough, but when combined with borderline personality disorder, it's like difficult, you know. Um, I'm actually been on air for about um, half an hour. Uh, Looks like I've got a phone call. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna sign off now, guys. And yeah, I mean, if you've got any answers for me, um, I'd love to hear them. But failing that, I guess we're just going to wander this strange world and um, stumble through life until we die. Uh, stay strong. Please let me know what you think, and yeah, I'll speak to you next time.